G'day folks, Steve from Vintage Restorations Australia here. We haven't posted videos for a couple of weeks because both John and myself have been affected by the far south coast bushfires. We had fires not far from us within 15 minutes of burning my place and my workshop and things, and John was in a similar position, so we haven't actually met for about a month and done any work on the Land Rover, but we're back to it now and we're going to press on with the project. So they say restoration is about 10% pulling things to bits, about 80% cleaning those bits, and then about another 10% putting them all back together. That's restoration. Unfortunately, that 80% of cleaning all the bits is pretty boring to watch, so we kind of skip a lot of that detail. We've given you the techniques that we use with the electrolysis and the citric cleaning and things like that, and of course the grinding work that we do. Today we have a look at how we clean using just degreaser and diesel in a degreasing unit. So we do continue on. We'll just keep showing you those techniques that we use rather than the actual cleaning of every bit, because that's pretty dull. We've started refinishing parts and things, and we're starting to put stuff back together, which is exciting. So today's video covers putting the handbrake back together, fitting those bump stops finally, getting the steering relay in and that kind of stuff. We've started disassembling all of the rear diff. The front diff has been broken down and we've started refurbishing those parts and indeed putting that front diff back together. Another trip out to John's Red Dog. What are we up to today? Cleaning lots of greasy grunge. Does that sound like fun? Here we are, we've just arrived. And look what the bastards have done. Put doilies and turned my chassis into a tea table. Is nothing sacred, I ask you. The wondrous world of electrolysis continues. What's in the bath today, John? It's like a game show, isn't it? What's in the bath today?
It's got a swivel housing. There's quite a lot of rust on this surface that we still have to clean up. That's okay, it'll come good. So these two guys are the ones that we wire brushed and tannated.
Yeah.
That one's been through electrolysis. It's a better steel by the looks of it. Yeah. So I think we might swap over to that one.
Tannate him up. Nice.
They're two of the gearbox mounts. You know, the thread isn't great, but the rubber's in okay condition. The bump stops, got a few of these you can choose between.
So they're
that
the
one
ones that have been through the electrolysis.
You can see the dimples possibly on that. This metal's better. That one's good.
Yeah, that's a beauty.
These are the gearbox mounts. There's the steering arm mount.
Yeah, I've got a new replacement of the other end.
I was going to say that's bent, and I've got the other one in the electrolysis. This holds one of the brake pipes that we're going to connect on one of the brake unions, so we need that painted. These bits are all for painting.
Hubs.
So that's your freewheeling hub that we need, the brake pad. We've got the swivel housing, steering, damper attachment. There's the various bits of a prop shaft and the tie rods.
They look nicely reduced.
They need a good brush to just get the black off them. And yeah, this one's so long, the middle section didn't quite make it into the goo. So.
Oh, that's all right. We'll give it a little bit of grinder action. And I mean the tool, not the social media app.
I've prepared the smoke, so that'll help smoke the paint.
Smoky old day today for our overseas viewers. This is the Australian summer that nightmares are made of. This is smoke blowing from a couple of 100 kilometres away up the coast from us. Using this epoxy enamel to spray all the little parts once they've had tannic on them. The tannic kind of works a little bit like a etch primer. It etches on, has a chemical bond to the surface, so it's hanging on there. This metal shield, they don't require a primer or an undercoat or whatever you call it. So you can just spray this stuff straight on even without the tannic applied. It's a good product, I kind of like it. When you're spraying it, you want to thin it about 15. I find 20% is a little bit better. It gets a bit splatty at 15.
So Citric was doing okay, still got some nuts and bolts in the bottom of that. The handbrake rod went through, it's okay. The knob for the end of the handbrake has no real rust on it, but you can see where the corrosion has been and affected the chrome. And then the other piece that went through was this brake union, which is a brass. I didn't want to put that through the...
Well, brass is actually better suited to Citric cleaning than a lot of stuff. It works a bit quicker. So
it actually kind of looks coppery, but I think that might be the colour of...
Yeah, you'll get a bit of copper enrichment on the surface. Done its thing, and then you're starting to pull the copper out of it so that, you know, the alloy's starting to break down because it's in the Citric too long. That's kind of what happens if you leave it too long.
So, we won't put it back in just yet.
No, we'll just give that a bit of a brush clean now and it'll be right.
All right. There's your handbrake.
Looks lovely.
I think it was normally painted black, so that needs a coat.
These bump stops have been put through the electrolysis bath. You can see there that surface is nicely reduced down and stabilised. The rubber's in okay condition, it's not great, but we're trying to restore it, not build a new one. As long as they're serviceable, I'm happy with that. So now we'll give these a coat of tannic acid and a coat of paint and pop them on. Check that the relay's full of oil. How full does it have to be? Let's just see if there's any oil comes out. Nothing! Oh,
yeah,
there we got oil. It looks nice and clean.
We want to come in here.
That's oil. It's new. This is a part that actually got given for nothing, which are the best kind of parts, Matt. Check the relay location and the chassis is clean. Smear the location with grease. Grease is the word. Smear everything with grease. It is a Land Rover. Gotta be greasy. Smear that with grease. Smear this with grease.
The other thing you can do is I'll get you a different photo.
Smeared with grease.
You might be able to tap in there or even push.
Insert the relay assembly in the chassis and drift into position. Ensure that the cast protection on the upper side of the relay housing is fitted to the driver's side of the vehicle.
There's a lump here on the outside.
These ones.
I think it's the correct orientation.
That one.
Yep.
Okay. What do they mean drift in? Whack it in?
Yeah. Drift. Tap gently.
Okay.
I would suggest tap that with a steel out a bit so that it slides in really easy, because that looks like it's where it's tight. It's grabbing there.
I'll just give it. Oops. That's probably not the best.
Watch out for my table.
Sorry. My table. And under here we've reattached the collar on the steering relay. So while we're refitting things, we're going to refit these handles. It comes to the point where we've got to make an aesthetic decision as to which way we're going to go. I kind of like the original patina of these, so I'm going to let that dictate the rest of the look of the Land Rover. So we're going to stick with the original patina on all the panels and the exterior. Next step for us is to start putting the diffs back together. This one's already been stripped down. We've got the parts, a bit more cleaning of the internal parts and workings. The boys have just started stripping down the the rear diff that'll go in there. The ultimate aim is to get this back to a rolling chassis sooner rather than later.
Differential, we need to measure the slop on it and see what sort of tolerance that we've got. And we're just going to by hand rock this backwards and forwards. And we're getting about 10 thou of movement.
Alright, and what are we looking for?
4 thou in the book, I believe.
Alright.
But we can adjust that. This device weird looking device on this side and the same on the other. Wire off, pins out, and these actually screw one way or the other so that you can move the whole wheel in or out from the pinion.
Okay.
Needs a new oil seal, which is the front end of it, and we've got that, so that's fine.
Yeah.
They always leak.
That's up this end, yeah?
Out this end, yep. And once that's done, we can put that into the diff, and we can start working on the other ends of the differential where the brakes and knuckles go.
Bits and pieces. So this super tool is just a degreasing bar. So this is a mix of diesel and degreaser. It basically just dissolves the grease off these bits and pieces. So today it's really just a matter of stripping down the axles and things. We're just cleaning bits as we go with the degreaser, and then give them, if they need a bit of a wire brush clean, we give them that. If they need electrolysis, we put them in there, give them tannic, paint them up, reassemble them. We're just replacing whichever bits we need to replace as we go. If you've got nuts and bolts, you can just stick them in a jar and run that through. You can see the grease and crap coming out of there. Anyway, so with the diffs, there's lots and lots and lots of this. We won't bore you too much with a blow-by-blow description of every bit we clean, because you'll lose the will to live, as I do when I'm cleaning. It's an unfortunate thing. This little bird has had an accident with the oil seal. Met with a sad demise. Are you cooking chips, John?
No, we're heating up the bearings. So there's the retaining collar, bearing and distance piece. I might have used the wrong oil.
What is it?
It's transmission fluid. I probably should have used engine oil.
Smells like Jeff's Peugeot.
It smells bad. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to take the hot piece out of there. It's expanded, so it's nice and big. And we're going to drop it on here and push it all the way down, and it should sink to the bottom and grip tight.
Be on there.
And it should be easy to drop on. Famous last words.
Put it on the right way.
That's important, yes. Right. Drop down like a bought one. No need to hammer or anything.
Part 2.
Bearing. Inner bearing race.
Pretty good too.
Considering how much trouble it was getting them off. Yeah. And then the distance piece coming up. Probably stay expanded forever.
Oh.
Shiny bits.
That's pretty good, John. Compared to the old ones.
I've never done that before.
To be cut off.
And the audience went wild. Yeah, we massacred these. We put the oxyacetylene torch on and got them cherry. Oh, really had trouble getting them off.
Yeah, it's easier to get new ones on than those ones off.
There's a special tool for it, and it all involves lots of hitting.
That's fun though.
Yeah. Mildly not pleasant to touch with your finger, but I'm not going to burn my finger on it. So it's already cooled quite light.
After 3 or 4 minutes.
And I can't spin it, so it's already changed shape, shrunk back down.
Did you cleaned up that collar, obviously? Under
Yep.
there?
Yeah, so I cleaned it off to get rid of all the burr marks and make sure it was all nice.
Big pile of parts.
Some assembly required.
Yeah, so over the next episode, I guess we'll be putting all this together as the rest of the parts get cleaned and painted. And that'll be that. Well, that kind of wraps it up for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed that and hopefully got something out of it. If you haven't subscribed, of course, we'd love you to, because we need subscriptions. I guess from here on in, now that the fires are kind of dissipated a little bit, we've had a little bit of rain, so that kind of takes the pressure off a little bit. So we'll be back to our regular workshop days, and we're really kind of pushing to get the car to a rolling chassis point, so we can start thinking about the electric conversion part of this project. As usual, if you've got any questions, queries, suggestions, or just want to say good day, pop a comment down below us here in the comment section, and we'll endeavour to respond. I guess that's it. So till next time, take care of yourselves and be nice to each other. See you, folks.